Gentlemen, welcome back to another video. I hope you're doing well. So, instead of baiting you in with some sort of funny video at the start, I'm going to need your attention for this one. Previously, I was talking with a viewer of the channel, and they wanted me to report on, well, current situations involving men and women. Let's just say that. So, I'm going to get into an article that I read, which was disturbing to say the least. I'm trying to branch out and do new content, and I think that reading through some of these articles can be a bit more fun, but in any case, I'm going to need your comments down below. We're going to get to the article. Inside Tinder date love triangle murder plot as woman involved pictured for the first time. So here's a picture of the man who was involved. Liam Smith was 38. He'd been lured from his home and shot in the face. Frickin' yikes, men. This is every person's worst nightmare. And I'm just gonna pull this up here. There we go. Now you don't need to see that. We're gonna go through a little read through here, as this was shocking. I saw this in my Google News feed of all places. But let's get to the point. Electrician Liam Smith was lured from his home in Wigan and shot in the face, then had sulfuric acid poured over him as he lay dying, a revenge attack allegedly prompted by a one-night stand. That's crazy. That is absolute crazy. Every man's worst nightmare. I don't know if there was any cheating involved because I'm blind reading through this article, but you know, let's read. I'm curious. I'm a detective after all. A woman accused of helping to plot the murder of a man she went on a Tinder date with has denied any knowledge that her new boyfriend was about to shoot and attack him with acid. Rachel Fulstow, 37, said the first she knew 38-year-old Liam Smith had come to harm was when her boyfriend, Michael Hillier, 39, turned up at her house in York after the fatal attack. Mr. Smith had been lured from his home in Wigan, shot in the face, and then had sulfuric acid poured over him as he lay dying. Minshall Street Crown Court in Manchester heard. The father of two was declared dead at the scene last November 24th. His death was allegedly prompted by a one-night stand between him and Fulstow at a York hotel in 2019, which angered her new boyfriend, Hillier, who she met more than a year later, the trial has heard. So let me process this. They weren't dating at the time, but he'd heard about this and thought, I'm going to end this man. Unbelievable. It always just surprises me that when stuff like this happens, that the man becomes so angry that they decide to take another man's life instead of having, being men and discussing what exactly had happened here. In any case, let's continue. Hillier has admitted the manslaughter of Mr. Smith, but denies murder along with Fulstow, who denies helping her boyfriend carry out the murder plot. The jury heard Hillier was led to believe the one-night stand was the grape word. So this is the woman in question that this love triangle is happening between. If you'd call it a love triangle, the guy just had a one-night stand and got his face blown off and melted. So that's her pictured, and she denies the murder. Fulstow, giving evidence from the witness box in her defense, said she met Mr. Smith through Tinder and he had traveled to York to meet in September 2019. She said they went out and got drunk and they ended up having sex, but she said it was not consensual. Okay, so as we read more here, I can understand why the other man took action. He probably was told about this after they started dating and it infuriated him. But he believed her words whether they were true or not. Instead of asking him what happened here, he decided to take action and take this person's life. Michael Hayton KC, defending, asked her why she went for lunch with him the next day. Polstow said she did not regard the episode as grape and would not call it that. She said he had apologized, we spoke about it, and I accepted that and we carried on. It was non-consensual, but that is not the word I have used or have ever used. I just wanted to forget about it. So either because they were doing something kinky, which, yes, I'm not going to explain CNC, but if you Google what CNC is, there are people that enjoy that, and I could make an entire topic on that, which absolutely blows my mind, as I've heard that people refer to that act to help them get over trauma of being raped, which is just mind-blowing to me. But, I mean, I'm not a therapist. In any case, it's just back and forth. For all we know, she could have just not enjoyed it, but she wanted to use him for lunch the day after? How disappointing. Around 15 months later, she met Hillier on the dating app Hinge. So the new guy who carried this out, the court heard. But she said there were problems in their relationship, with Hillier being verbally abusive, moody, unpredictable, and suffering mental health issues. So maybe this man had BPD and didn't know how to deal with it. Because to me, that sounds like BPD. And this just... Oh, okay, alright. So let me not make assumptions. He was also a heavy user of diazepam. She said and was not happy she had the one-night stand with Mr. Smith, as this was not classy and it was something he kept bringing up. But Polstow, an international travel and tourism management graduate from Leeds Met University, who also worked for a property management company, said he had no knowledge of Hillier, who was planning to harm Mr. Smith. Okay, so he was a drug user, and he was probably undiagnosed BPD, which is... that's hard. It's hard. The first she knew was when Hillier turned up at her home after Mr. Smith's death. She said, Mr. Hayden asked her, "We know you did not contact the police to tell them about the violence Mr. Smith had been subject to. Why not?" Polstow replied, "Because I was terrified of telling the police, because I was petrified of Mike." Mr. Hayden continued, "Were you involved in the killing of Liam Smith?" Polstow replied, "No." Polstow from York and Hillier from Sheffield denied the murder. Polstow also denies a single count of perverting the course of justice. Trial was adjourned until this morning. Okay, so apologies, I didn't read exactly when the date of this was. This was posted just 5 days ago. So this is a relatively new story. But anyways, I'm going to take a sip of water and return to my desk for a second. Be right back. Mr. Gravelly voice over here. Okay, cool. Well, this situation, definitely not cool, but this is definitely the kind of stuff that is every man's worst nightmare. Imagine just having fun with somebody and then, what? It was like a year and a half later, this man comes and ends his life because of a lie that a woman told? Absolute nightmare fuel. Really the kind of thing that you need to be careful with, and why I get people are choosing not to date seeing crazy stories like that. You never know when an ex or a future partner is going to come back in your life, and she told an extreme lie and it ended up with somebody leaving the world. Trying to use YouTube friendly jargon here, of course, which is not fun, but I think you get what I'm saying. This is just insanity. Just insanity. I hope that these two that plotted this against this man come to full justice. I'll be keeping an eye on it, and it's incredibly guilty to me. They're incredibly guilty to me. I'm sure that you all see that after reading that through. They're gonna have to come up with a hell of a defense to get out of that one. Because who else would it have been? They'd have to look at, Who else in his life could have wanted to end him? Insanity, man. Just absolute insanity. Anyways, if you liked my little report here, I'd hugely recommend hitting the like button. Subscribe if you haven't watched my content before, or this is the second time around and you like it. Just any sort of comments you guys have regarding this video, I'd appreciate, as I'm using these videos as a benchmark to continue to make different content outside of the red pill, red meat kind of content I've been doing lately. It gets a bit grating, and I'd like to cover some more interesting articles and do some reactions and whatnot. Which, speaking of which, if you could comment down below, or you can get a hold of me over Discord and let me know what you'd like me to react to. I'll be doing a reaction video next week regarding well, something that the community picks out that's obviously YouTube terms of service healthy. So get in touch with me at fiendgang's Discord or hidan's Discord, and yeah, look forward to seeing what you all produce, as this one was just one that I came across while I was on vacation and thought to myself, well, I have to talk about this. It's just absolutely insane. Either way, as always, thanks again for your viewership, thanks for watching, and have a good day. Stay safe out there. Bye now.